Okay, this is getting kind of ridiculous. I keep messaging Eva over and over and over again and still nothing. Like, she can't be that busy and not notice her one and only employee is just constantly messaging her. Eva is the nicest person on the realm, though, so I won't be too mad at her, but I do think we need to talk. Eva? Eva, hello? Eva, you home? Like, she's usually home, or at least around her home. I know she's more of a silent type, but this is a bit weird if I'm honest. Hey, Lion, have you seen Eva at all? I can't find... Where's Lion? Are you serious? Lion's not here either. Palmer, do you know where Lion and Eva are? I've been looking all over for them and I can't find... Is Palmer home? Palmer? Palmer? Okay, this is getting ridiculous. This is getting ridiculous. I wonder if Saber's at least home, because like if anyone would know what's happening, it'd probably be him. But I'm not seeing any sign of. Oh hey, his Iron Golem Bill's here at least. You know, maybe I've been carrying the torch so much for Cosmic that maybe they're doing something. Because apart from a certain few, I can't find like anyone, so maybe they're plotting something. Maybe they're plotting something. And I'm open to whatever surprise they're working on. Maybe it's a Halflands-esque thing, maybe it's like a mini game. I don't know. But what I do know is this base is in need of some completion. And honestly, I think we could possibly make that happen today, at least in terms of the cave portion of this base. But I think first things first, we need to do some cleanup around the place, such as over here. And I was originally just gonna have it sort of edge itself all the way down here, but I think instead what I should do is probably just build a wall connecting from right here of this path all the way up to the top up there. Because I don't know, it feels weird it having just this big gap, big drop on this one side. I'm fine having one big drop, but having two, that's a bit much. A bit too much for my liking, so let's see if we can fix that. Well, that was pretty easy, but I think generally for right now, I kind of don't want to work down at this lower level of the cave base. I instead want to, for the first time, finally go up here and actually build my little crystal civilization. Because way back when I actually started this entire base, I had a plan of creating the crystal cave and the crystal castle underneath in the lower levels, and then having the crystal civilization, like a crystal city or town or something like that, above it. Because like all great leaders, I'm putting my citizens above me, quite literally in this case. And there's a lot to work on inside this part of the cave, but I think before that, we need to do a little bit of resource grinding. Mainly, I'm gonna need a lot of two different types of wood, one of which being crimson, and I occasionally come out to the nether to pick up some, but in this case, I'm gonna need a lot more than just some. And I forgot to bring any gold. That's problem number one. Let's hope. Oh, nope. Okay. There's more than problem number one. More than one problem. Oh, jeez. Nope. Okay. Seriously, the natives, they never love when I come by. Even when I'm wearing a gold helmet, they just have something against me. Fortunately for us, the nether is filled with resources required to make gold helmets. I know there's some way you could grow the crimson wood in the overworld, but I could never remember how you get more of these mushroom things. But I'm sure the residents of this place don't mind me deforesting their entire forest around here. Okay, I think we're covered on crimson wood for the time being. And the other type of wood we're going to need is... which way do I go? I think it's this way, and I know it's not here, but I'm pretty sure it's nearby here. Okay, maybe not here, but like about 1,000 or so blocks, I think, in this direction. Okay, we need mangrove wood. That's what I'm saying. We need mangrove wood, and I remember there being like a mangrove forest like somewhere off in this direction, I believe. I know I could just get like some saplings and just grow them like back at home, but I don't know. In my mind, I feel like this is just easier just going to an entire forest. Like, don't I sell mangrove? I mean, I have a wood shop for like who knows how many months at this point, and I can't even remember what woods I sell. Okay, it's either nearby or I've passed it. Oh, wait, there it is. Compared to the crimson wood, I'm not gonna need quite as much of this mangrove wood, but it's probably worth I get at least a few good stacks. What are all these fish doing? Like, have you ever seen a fish unison dance like this before? If it's the penguins I don't understand when mining crimson wood, it's fish I don't understand when mining mangrove. Okay, I think I'm covered for wood, at least for the time being. But alright, plan of action 1, we need to clean up this cave. I never really realized this, but this cave actually isn't as big as I remembered. At least compared to the one down below. And there's a spawner up here that I just never bothered using, so maybe if we could think of something, we could find a way on using that. Okay, this isn't perfect, but we at least got most of the mineshaft out of the way. But now we gotta reshape and retrain this ground just to make it a little bit more usable. I mean, I'm not saying this isn't usable right now, but I am saying it's pretty close to there. I've had access to so many spawners, either not realize it or forgot about it, and I just never made use of it in this space. Again, it's not too late, but I still don't really see myself using them too often. If I ever do use them at all. I step away for like a minute and come back to my PC, seeing this entire cave just covered in slime. Well, I'll give it this. It does feel like the Crystal Cave then. Okay, I think for the most part, this cave is pretty much cleaned up. Just don't really look at anything too closely. Which means it's time for the actual town part of everything, and the way I designed this was I kind of kept in mind like what a village actually looks like, a pre-generated village, while trying to stay kind of in the theme of that, but while also trying to make it a little bit unique. Buildings that look something just a little bit like this, and yeah, again, it's nothing too complicated. Maybe there'd be ways I could change that, or, you know, edit things or something like that. But I think generally speaking, something like this could work for a Crystal Castle town thing. And I've not really laid out exactly how I want this town to be, but I have laid out quite a few number of like building designs and things like that. You know what, actually, it might be worth doing something like that, laying out everything before just building things, just so we know like where things are going to be, how things are going to be laid out and everything like that, rather than having to try and figuring out as we go. Okay, I think a layout that looks something like this, I think this will work out in the end. I did intentionally leave this back area empty for now, and that's because I want to see if I could add something that's not building related or anything like that back there, which if you've seen any of my other city or town builds, you probably have a good idea as to what I want to put there. But yeah, you're going to see a few repeats of the same type of like design and things like that in areas, but hopefully I'll have enough builds and designs to not make any one feel too samey, such as a taller building like this, which just barely manages to fit inside this cave. I also have some small edits to the designs of these buildings, mainly making them just a little bit thicker. And you know, I'm not too picky, but I will say, I do like them a bit thicker. And some of the other buildings, such as this one, is going to be even thicker than that one. Yeah, actually, this one's complicated. This one's complicated. Okay, I don't know how I got confused, but this is big. This is a really big one. A smidge messy with the roof, but I do like the little balcony up there. And after building many more of these buildings, there might be one or two other buildings I want to add in, but I think generally speaking, at least for right now, I think I'm pretty happy with this. It's kind of hard to get a good angle on all this, considering the cave and everything else, but just know we have several buildings we could work with now. But I think before I do the interior, I kind of want to do like maybe the streets, the paths, and other types of things like that, as well as, of course, a market stand, because I have to have a market stand in pretty much every one of these small towns I make. But okay, I think first things first, let's just worry about these paths and all the other decorations and things like that around here. I'm not entirely sure how many of these lampposts I really want around the place. Probably this many. Yeah, I think this many will do. And I think in a few houses, I kind of want to have just some hanging lights around the place. I don't know, just have as few torches just lying around the place as possible. And I think the next thing I kind of want to work on is both the paths and the market stand. And while I don't necessarily know how I want to do it, I think I'll figure it out in this time lapse where I'm building a whole bunch of things, replacing a whole bunch of things, placing on a whole bunch of new blocks, replacing a whole bunch of new blocks, and at the end of it, I ended up with, I don't know, because I've not done it yet. But after I have done that, we've ended up with a small but firm little civilization I like to call Crystopia, which is nothing too spectacular, nothing too fancy, but just enough and just good enough for my crystal civilization and my crystal people, whatever you want to call them, to call home. And yeah, again, nothing's too out of the ordinary, nothing too grand or grandiose or anything like that, but something that just feels like home, something that just you feel comfortable in or something like that. Also, in some of these buildings, I've done some relatively simple interior work, like again, nothing too special, but just something to fill the gaps. There's a few spots here and there in a few houses that I still need to do some interior work on, but generally speaking, in most of these houses, you'll see at least something inside of them, which is more than what I could say for the market stand, because I don't really know what to put here. Apart from crystal related items, this place is a little bit blank, if I'm honest. That gives me an idea. Not only will I sell amethyst and amethyst related things and blocks and things like that, but I'm also going to sell things you can make from amethyst, such as say spyglasses and things like that, and other amethyst slash crystal-y things, such as this calibrate sensor, such as purple blocks, and such as some of the what are these called? Pearlescent frog lights. I always forget the name of those things. And after a few more touches around the place, I think this market stand area is pretty much done. And apart from like a few interiors inside some of these buildings, the town of Crystopia is pretty much complete too. But even though that's done, that doesn't mean my entire base is pretty much done. Because as of right now, there's a couple other things we need to focus on. First off, a proper entrance and exit. For who knows how long at this point, I've just been using this entrance from a cave going up and down, and I don't hate it. But I think we could do better at some point. But even when I do that, that doesn't mean this entire base area is entirely completed, because there might be one or two other elements of my base, or half my base, however you want to look at it, that need doing. But because some of those elements are really, really big, I'll probably just save it for next episode. So until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.